We're live now
Woohoo!
on the Facebooks and in the YouTubies for another episode of Beer Battered Thoughts.
Cyrus, you just muted yourself.
See, it's always doing something weird. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. That's always happening. Beer Battered Thoughts is back with another episode for the Armored Combat Community, buhurt community. With today's guest, Christine. Christine, talk about yourself. Introduce yourself to the people. Even though everyone knows you, we're just gonna pretend like they don't.
All right, I'm Christine. I've been doing buhurt for I think 7 years now.
7
when
years.
I first started training. Yeah. Had my first armor fight at Dragoncon 2 months after I started and was immediately hooked. I done a little bit of everything. I was sword and shield duelist for Baden 2 years in a row. I was 1 year, I think. Did I do buckler? I fight buckler now mainly and a little bit of longsword. I've done melees. I got to do that 1 year at Baden, and I've done pro fights. I actually won the pro fight slot. Oh, actually, I did that at Bond too. Yeah. So I've done a little bit of everything, basically.
Okay. A little bit of everything. I figured you kind of done a little bit of everything. I know you've done some melees.
And I'm martial.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So literally a little bit of everything.
Clear a little bit of everything. We had a pre-discussion before we had talked about this, and I know you said that you don't really drink beer, but you do drink beer on occasion. You drink some ciders. Tell me a little about that. What do you drink, and do you have? You said you were going to have something. Do you have it with you?
Well, so the one that I really like, I couldn't find it anywhere.
Dang.
I was sending Larry to go look for it in Augusta, but could not find it. But it's the Recorder Lane raspberry lime cider.
Okay.
Amazing.
I think I accidentally typed cedars in the bio instead of ciders because I was like, oh, that's cedars. It's fine. I brought some cider just for you. I brought it here. I got to remember it's dry cider from Ciders, made in Austin. East Ciders. Yeah, I brought some of that. And the good thing is that I brought a cider because I had some margaritas earlier. So I had mentioned I'm extra kind of like I'm going to be a little bit animated today because, I'm a little ahead of the game, pretty much.
So I couldn't find my normal one, but I decided to pick up this one, the Bee Nectar Pink Lemonade. So it's a cider with raspberry and lemon. So we'll see if this is any good.
I'm liking it. I'm digging it. So I know you said you like ciders, but you said you don't like beers. What drew you to this cider specifically? What do you like about it?
The Recorder Lane. So one of our friends worked in a restaurant, and she was like, Christine, you need to try this one. You're going to really like it. Mm-hmm. And I do. And that's part of why I picked up this one, because it was a raspberry. And she had a raspberry. The other one has raspberry, too, which I adore raspberries. So.
All right. Well, Christine, thank you for much being on. Before we get in our conversation, cheers to you.
Well, it's actually pretty good. I'll probably drink this again.
That's good here. I like this. I picked a dry cider. It's kind of like when I say dry cider, it kind of tastes like a white wine almost. Exactly like white wine. That's a dry cider tastes exactly like white wine.
Yeah. And see, when it comes to alcohol, I'm usually a vodka and rum girl.
Yeah. Today I had some margaritas. I had a wine spritzer margarita. Then I had like a standard like tequila margarita or something like that. I don't know. And I don't really drink hard liquor like that, so that's why my eyes are kind of glazed over. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't drank. This is real alcohol. I haven't had this in a long time.
Well, I don't know if you saw my post of prepping for Dragoncon, and we had all of our alcohol laid out along the counter.
Yeah, that's what I said. I got it. We got to get the backstory on that. So I was trying to figure. So everybody was like, "Wait, what's going on here?" You got to explain. Go ahead and explain in open context.
Well, Dragoncon's a huge party, so you're up till 4 a.m. every night, going all the dances and raves and all that. Mm-hmm. So what ends up happening is we buy alcohol for Dragoncon, and then we drink it, some of it, and then it gets left over for next year. And so we just keep having piles of alcohol, and then you have to buy a couple more things.
Yeah.
To round out what you need.
You pretty much do.
So yeah, we just have like this rotating thing of tons of alcohol.
I had never been to Dragoncon ever before, and I've seen like videos of it, and I went to last year, and I will say after tournaments, I think the tournaments, like if I say for like all the fights all the way to the end, I think it ended like around like I don't remember what time they ended, like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock,
like 5 or 6,
like 5 or 6, something like that.
Yeah.
I went back to the hotel, showered, took a nap. And I was like, we were out for like maybe like I slept for maybe like in like a good hour, and then we were out to about 3 or 4 a.m. to the point to where I was falling asleep. There was a concert at like 3 a.m. So I fell asleep during it because I was just like, so. But then I woke up and I was like, all right, I got another burst injury. Let's go.
My first pro fight was at Dragoncon, and I was not fully prepared for it. And the rest of the day, I was like, complete zombie. I was drinking coffee at like midnight, just trying to stay awake to have fun with everybody.
Yeah, Dragoncon's gonna be fun, and that's why some people, like some people who are going to Dragoncon the first time, like, yeah, you're gonna need a nap and lots of coffee, lots and lots of coffee. You're gonna need it. That's what's gonna get you through. If not, you're not gonna make it. You're just not gonna make it. Because we're gonna get up like super early, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning for the tournament. We're gonna be doing that all the time. You're gonna so many people gonna be watching that. 100, 1,000, 200,000 people are gonna be in and out all day, and you're gonna be on that, and you're not gonna want to. You're gonna watch it all, like right. Even as a competitor,
oh yeah,
you're gonna be like, oh, looking out, because you're not only gonna be looking at the competitors, the fights, because those are interesting, but then you're gonna be like looking at the reactions of the people, and you're just like, oh yeah, because even if you want to leave, and then you're gonna go out like, okay, now I'm gonna go do stuff and put my stuff away.
During the downtime between fights, you're out in the crowd talking.
Yeah, you're gonna be out in the crowd. That's gonna be great. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I need to go sit down and rest with my team. No, we're gonna be looking at what's going on with those people. What's going on with these people? Are they really digging it? Yeah, but they really are. They really do. I think Dragoncon's gonna be great. I know we were talking about that today. I know people are gonna be driving in, and some people are gonna be there all day for the con. Some people are gonna be volunteering at the con. Some people are gonna be fighting and doing. And then I know I'm doing a little bit of everything. I know I'm gonna be doing some stuff. I'm gonna be going to some stuff, going to some panels and some things I want to do, playing some video games and stuff like that. I know I'm gonna be fighting. I know I'm gonna help in some of the panels too. Then I got a shopping list of things I want to buy. So I've been saving my budget. I've been holding on to my little.
Oh yeah, you have to. You gotta save like $200 or $300 for Dragoncon.
Yeah, you absolutely do. You absolutely do. Like it's. You think because last year I really wasn't planning on buying anything. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna buy anything. I'm not gonna buy anything.
That doesn't work out.
Yeah, I bought like $500 worth of stuff. I was like, I'm not gonna buy anything. And the last day we're like, oh yeah, let's go to the. We went to they have like this whole building. It's just whole building of just nothing but where they have like nothing but the vendors. Like the first day I was like, nah, I'm not gonna buy anything. And that's also like, ooh, no. Okay, I fought the urge the first day. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna buy anything. Then right before we left, we're like, let's go back and like see some things. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy this. I came back, I saw it, it's still here. I'm buying this, I'm buying that, and I just had like a bag full of stuff. I'm like, yeah, and I hang it all up.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, it is dangerous. So I'm like, now this time I'm like, no, I'm going once to the vendor hall, and that is it. That is it. I'm gonna go be playing video games or going to sit in the panels. Did you experience that? Is like that how you do it too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, some years I don't even make it to panels because I'm too busy hanging out and having fun with all my friends. But I always have panels planned, and I may or may not go to them.
Mm-hmm. It's I think in this sport, there are very few times when we're like in front of that kind of crowd, and I think for the Dragons Cup tournament itself, it is like a bucket list item. Like you got to go at least once.
Completely unlike any other tournament that you're going to go to.
Yeah, all the other tournaments are fun. Like don't get me wrong, I have a lot of fun at Carnage and at ACS Nationals and some of the other tournaments we've been to. Lots of fun because I enjoy the fights. But this is one time where you get to enjoy the fights and you get to enjoy the environment and the people, and then the fan reaction to it. So it's just like a unique thing on its own. And so I know Larry's done a great job, of helping build that to be like that. And I know you're fighting at Dragoncon. Are you doing melees or are you just doing that one fight?
I'm doing duels, and then I'm doing a special. What's it called? White Lion. Battle of
Lions. Yeah, I want to talk about that.
It's from the plate category at Bonton, but yeah, so we're doing that special fight, and then instead of fighting melees, we're actually going to be putting one of the newer women from our team in my armor so she can go fight the melees, and then I'll be marshaling.
See, now here's what that is. Here's the thing with that. People are gonna be like, "Oh, is that Christine? Yeah, it's Christine." Like, yeah, I'm gonna get her, and then you realize, smack. You're like, "Oh, wait a minute." You're like in there, you're like grappled, and they're like, "That's not Christine."
Oh yeah, I should probably warn people.
Like, yeah, it's Christine. I remember she popped me in the shoulder last year. Okay, wait a minute. Who are you? Mistaken identity. It happens.
That is a good point. I didn't think about that, and I will definitely have to warn people.
Yeah, I probably have to warn people. Like, hey, that's not me. Because sometimes it happens, right? Like you've been in armor.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Pretty sure that's somebody. Like, pow. Like, oh.
Well, and my armor is very distinctive too.
Yeah, you have a very distinct armor, right?
You know who that is.
You know who Christine is. Like you say, oh, that's Christine. You know who that is.
Yeah, I gotta be special.
Yeah. But no, I'm super excited for Dragoncon. I think your battle with Elise Spinebreaker, aka the Mother of Dragons, will be your opponent. That's gonna be fun. She's been prepping her future fancy plate armor, gothic plate armor. She's only worn like once.
Well, she does like the HEMA stuff.
Yeah.
Which I have I went to one HEMA tournament when I first started.
Yeah.
So I feel like she has the advantage in this fight.
Yeah, because you guys get to have like little daggers, right?
He disagrees, but I'm like, you actually know how to do this, and I'm gonna forget that I can stab you.
That's true, and she does have a lot of experience. She's done harness fectin and things like that with HEMA. So yeah, I think she does have a little bit of advance, a little bit of an advantage over you. Yeah, because she has a little bit of that stabbing. So I think when it comes to like certain strikes, it'll be pretty even. But then when it comes to the stabbing and getting close and those center pieces and things like that, that's where things will change.
Yeah, because my brain's just not going to be running on that level.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I get it.
I'm really looking forward to it. Elise and I are like besties.
Yeah. I talk to Elise all the time. Elise is a super fun person, a teammate to be on. Super fun at the Warlord Academy. Just loves fighting, just period. And I think it's gonna be a very fun. I think I cornered for her last year. It was great. I'll probably help corner for her this year if I'm not too distracted with my own thing, because I'll be at Dragoncon.
Like, can we talk about how amazing she did last year at Dragoncon?
Yeah, it was super great. I was like, took the fight like super last minute, had no plans of fighting a pro fight.
Right. Yeah.
And then just like, oh yeah, okay, I'll do a pro fight. It's fine. And then just taking
we did the pro fight tournament earlier, but then I was actually supposed to fight Genevieve, who came all the way from Canada, but I was having like a literal mental breakdown.
Yeah.
So Elise kindly stepped in and absolutely killed it.
Yeah, Elise was like, I'm tired, but it's like, you know what? I'll do it. And that's the thing about Elise. Elise was like, yeah, I can fight somebody? All right, cool, I'm in there. She's probably one of the people that most reliable people you say, oh yeah, last minute we'll take a fight. And I think that's mostly just because she's unfortunate situations happen where she's had to miss like big tournaments and things like that. She's like, so she tries to get in there wherever she can and just really loves to fight. So I think we need more people in that, way more people in the league that's in these competitions that can do that, that's able to do that. I will be also at Dragoncon. I will be fighting with the Knights of Wakanda. I'll be there. So anybody wants to fight me, I'll be the captaining once again. The Knights of Wakanda. We've got a squad this time.
Let's see if y'all can measure up to the same standards you did last year.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see if we can go 2 years in a row. No pressure. We have a push up like, hey guys, it would be nice if we won second time. We're gonna be like, yeah, we win it, but no pressure.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be some proper teams there this time, so we're gonna be a little bit of a disadvantage. So but we'll figure it out. We'll try.
I mean, y'all pulled it off last year, so.
Well, last year I was like, hey, we got it. We got some people coming, some extra people coming, so I think it's gonna be fun. Dragoncon's like one of the few times we do get to do some things together. We've done a lot of things this year, which we're happy about, but this is actually only tournament we'll actually do. So this will be nice for us to do, and we'll see how that goes.
Scattered around. It's hard when you're scattered around like that because y'all aren't in the same spot, right? Like
no, yeah, we're all scattered around. I think there's here and there, there's a couple, like 2 or 3 people or 1 or 2 people in the same place, but for the most part, none of us are together. I think even for the squad that's coming for to Dragoncon, I think only myself and Dax are together, and then everybody else is just scattered. So we'll see, and we'll even have our own White Wolf. We'll have even Greg Fisher on our squad this year too, so it'll be pretty fun. And this time we'll actually have like actual put together tabbers. This one will just be random green and black tabbers we just grabbed, and this time we've actually got like designs on them this year, so we're actually fully prepared. Yeah, we'll be fully prepared this time to look official. It'll be pretty fun. We do have a sponsor again this year for this episode for Beer Better Thoughts. We have two. One, of course, you got look in the top corner above Christine's head there. It's that way. Yeah, all that way. Sacred Hand Tattoo, private tattoo. She's been sponsored like 2 or 3 weeks in a row. She's got great interest from that. And then also, our second sponsor, Black is Beautiful Tees. The link is in the comments. If you see that for Black and Beautiful Tees, these are my t-shirt lines for the Knights of Wakanda. Black is Beautiful. Thank you. So if you guys want to support those t-shirts are on sale now. This is actually the very first one that was printed because I wanted to test and make sure it came out like nice. But those are our two sponsors for me and myself. Black is Beautiful from Knights of Wakanda, and then the Sacred Hand Tattoo, private tattoo studies in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if you're in Dallas-Fort Worth area, or if you're in Denver, Oklahoma, she does great private tattoos. All my tattoos are done by the Sacred Hand, Milan Monet. She does all my tattoos and in her private studio. So with that, Christine, do you have any tattoos? Are you tattooed? No?
Not yet. I have one that I'd like to get, but I'm real picky. I found a tattoo artist that I absolutely adore. They're in New York City, and the minimum is like $300.
Yeah, I think.
I don't have one yet.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I choose my two tattoo artists like I choose my barber. Like, I gotta have the right person who knows. I know you. We've talked. We had a discussion. I followed your work. I've seen what you can do. Now let's work together. There are about some people like they'll go to like random places to get tattoos. I'm like, why do you? I don't know. No, I need to understand their work. I need to talk to other people.
They'll be special.
Yeah, they need special. Yeah, special. We're a bond because you're putting something on my body that's going to last almost forever. So unless I really don't want it to be. So we need to have a rapport, and I need to see your work. So I need to understand. So yeah, there's definitely that. Christine, one of the things I want to talk to you about, you've been, like I said, you've been around for about 7 years now, going on 7 or going 8 years. And so you've seen a lot of things when it's come to the evolution of the women's league, right? The women's portion of Armored Combat. I wanted to ask you first what is the biggest difference from when you first started to now when it comes to the evolution of women's Armored Combat to now?
The biggest thing? Gosh. Yeah, that's a hard question.
I guess start with the hard one first.
Yeah, I mean, because it's completely different. Mm-hmm. I mean, one of the big things is when I started, we were only doing 3v3, which are not great. They're not fun. Now we get to do 5s, which are amazing. Yeah. And I mean, we're getting close to even. Well, I mean, at bottom with Serbia was 3 years ago? I don't even remember. But we actually got to do like an all-v-all. It was 21 versus 21.
Oh.
Yeah. And that was, I mean, COVID definitely makes things a little more difficult. But I mean, I'm sure there's been growth even since then. So we're getting close to being able to do more cool stuff.
Okay. Have you seen a big jump in the quality in fighters, like who's in skill,
Certain teams for sure. Like I was talking about with y'all having the difficulty of not being near each other and training together, that's a real problem for some of the women. Mm-hmm. Like I have a couple women, like there's some women nearby, but like the closest one's like 2 hours from me. Mm-hmm.
You
know, that doesn't give me a lot of time to train with them.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to build some of the skills when I don't get to. I only get to train with the guys that are twice my size and can pick me up in my armor and throw me on the ground.
Yeah. I think one of the common questions I ask a lot of different women in the sport is that what do you think is missing? What do you think the factor is missing to recruit more women into the sport?
Gosh, I wish I knew.
Yeah. I guess because I think it's still one of those things that's still evolving that some of the women are figuring out, but then it's really strange, right? So you have certain teams that are starting to grow, like you have the Nashville, right? They've got like 7 or 8 now, It's taken a while, but it has grown for them. And the Mythics have like 10 or 11, now, I think like 7, I think most of them have armor. So I think out of the 11 or 12, I think like 9 of them have their own armor, right? So it's just very interesting that what is it even? Yes, the Mythics help. They train at a Warlord Combat Academy. It's very indoor, but for a long time it wasn't that way. So, and they still had a good number. So they had number, close to 5 or 6 even at a time. So I still trying to figure out, even for myself, what is the missing link for women in the sport.
I wish I knew so that I could get women on my team, but I have not figured that one out yet.
Yeah, I find it interesting, and maybe we'll find out together. I guess it's one of those things that I think we'll figure out what's the most appealing.
It muted you again.
All right, I think in my my guess, and I think part of it, if I take an educated guess, something that's very unique that, and once again, I say this because I don't really see, I see this with Nashville and I see with the Mythics, and I've never really been to the other women's team, is that they are, regardless of if they agree on everything or not, they are a group of people who hang out and are friends. And
yeah, I think you're right on that.
Yeah, they have a community within each other. Yes, they may or not, they disagree, they don't agree on certain things, but for the most part, they go hang out. They will, separately from the Warlords or Warlord Combat Academy, they will go to once a month or every other month, they will go on an adventure together, and they build like a friendship and a bond, and they invite other people into that and then bring them into the academy. I think they're like, oh, okay, come out, we'll hang out with us. And I know that the Nashville do something similar like that. They hang out and they go do stuff outside of it, and they actually build a group of friends and then bring them into it. And I think, and if from the outside looking in, I think that's kind of what it is. It's not just the sport, but it's like having new friends and friends that want to do the same thing, train to do the same thing, support each other in life stuff, not just in the sport, but and go out and do things socially outside of it. So it's like the social friends that they can be. It's like a casual, even if it's just casual, it's a group of people that you can, like, man, all my long-term friends, my friends since college or whoever, middle school, aren't available, but I have this other crew of friends I can just really hang out and vibe with, and we can hang out and do things and enjoy the sport and push each other and support each other's sport. So I think I want to say that's kind of what I see that's kind of missing. And
yeah, you saying that, I absolutely agree. I think that's definitely a huge part.
Yeah. And how do you philosophize that for in other areas and other cities and other things like that, other teams, to make that's a thing, but it's kind of hard, right? And because you Mythics and Nashville have a very unique area and platform where they can do that. So it's just one of the things that I see. For you, I don't know. Have you, I assume.
Oh, it muted you again.
Yeah, there it goes. I assume that you've competed overseas, right?
Yes, I've been to Baden 3 times.
Really?
I think, yeah.
Yeah. How is it for you competing with the women over there? What was your experience like doing that?
Oh, I mean, they're all incredible fighters. I mean, I love it. It's always good getting to fight people you don't get to fight very often, and yeah. I definitely don't get to fight those people very often. So, I mean, one of my highlights was getting to fight Pro Fight Era from Israel. Mm-hmm. She's incredible and complete badass. Like, I always say I want to be her when I grow up.
find that interesting. Are there different is it I guess what I want to say is that you've had experience fighting some of them, and then you've had a lot compared to what you've done the world championships and things like that in Baden, and even in some of the more recent experience the last year or two, skill differences. Do you see like a big skill difference still? A still big gap between here and there?
Definitely our high-end fighters here, I'd say, are probably pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm so upset that Bond keeps getting canceled because I really want to see, I want to see Shoshana fight all of them. I want to see the Mythics go fight Melees over there.
So do I, yeah.
Yeah, and it's really disappointing that we keep missing out on those experiences.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say everybody's kind of like this, like don't hold your breath for the whole Baden thing. There's so many things, so many factors with that. I don't, don't hold your breath when it comes to that. I miss as much as I want to go to do that. I wanted to go to do that, and much as I want to go to IMCF and things like that. IMCF, I'm kind of hopeful will happen. They put a date out. We'll kind of see what happens when it gets close to that. But I've qualified now 2 or 3 times. I'm just like, oh well, I've qualified, and I just never get to go. So I just kind of we'll get to that when it happens. I want it so bad, and I know I'm not feeling a lot of people do. But
I qualified for pro fights the 1 year, and then it got canceled. So
yeah,
totally same boat.
Yeah, so I think there's so many people that want to go to that, but even then I've seen Shoshana's gone over there on a one-off situation, gone to Poland one-off. Dominus went up there a couple months ago. Went up there, and that's a collection of U.S. fighters, and some of those guys are trained with. A lot of those people I've trained or have fought against, and they've done really well. So I'm still kind of like, man, on an international level, where does the U.S. fall? Are we still back in the Stone Ages, kind of like where we win like the 16s in those higher levels, or are we competitive still? Are we much more competitive in singles and the fives? But it looks like we're pretty competitive in the fives, even from some of that stuff that's happened, and some of the guys that have gone over, some of the men and women have gone over, overseas to compete. So it's very interesting. Interesting. And Michael Johnson asked me, yes, do I have a barber? Yes, I have a barber. This beard doesn't take care of itself, Michael. Yeah, it doesn't. This is luxurious beard that's frazzle beard today because I didn't really do anything today. And my girlfriend's like, "When are you gonna go shave it?" I'm like, "I'll get to it eventually." And I'll get to it. I think my next question from it comes to the combat is that you also got to participate in this past summer at the Wandering Sword tournament that we did.
A new favorite tournament, you mean?
Oh yeah, I did that duels thing. I did not expect so many singles, high-end singles women members come to that. Number one, I was like, I'll hit up everybody as I can, and I hope as much comes in. We had about 35 people there, and I was like, it turned out to be a really solid, especially for the women's categories, really solid tournament, and you had some newer ones, but you had some really like higher end quality fighters there too. What was your experience? How did you enjoy that event?
Oh my gosh. I mean, like I said, it's like my new favorite duels tournament. I mean, it was incredible. Having so many high-end duelists together was just a great experience, and everyone talking to each other about the fights and analyzing it and all that was just really special. And I got to fight again a bunch of people I hadn't fought before. I mean, Ace, Dana, Gina, who I knew already from Baden, but never gonna fight her. Bailey from Canada. I mean, there was just a whole slew of people that I had never fought before, so I was really excited about that.
Yeah, it turned out to be something special that I didn't realize it was going to be so special. I was like, I'm just going to advertise this and hope that it's going to be something cool and special. But I'm like, it turned out to be something special, and everybody's like, we're going to do it again. I'm like, honestly, I didn't really have a follow-up plan. I was like,
there better be a follow-up now.
There is. Like, me and Spencer have talked about it, and we've talked to Larry, and like me and Spencer are like, okay, well, this is gonna happen. I guess this is the thing now. So we're figuring it out. We're like, all right, we're scheduling. We're figuring out, how we're gonna do it again and when's best. But so we have decided, yes, we're gonna do it again. We're just gonna figure out some dates and when the most optimal time for everyone is, so we get even more people into it.
Yeah.
So we are definitely gonna do it. if since you are a participant, and I'll just ask this: what's something that you got to fight some people, but what's something you would want to change or add, or would want to do it? So we're gonna do live feedback.
Probably the only critique I would really have is maybe get some more experienced marshals.
Yeah, I think that's like the drawback of it. A lot of the people who supported it did have some counting experience. We did have, I think, out of the 4 counters we had, I think 2 of the 4 had like a lot of experience counting. The other 2 had some experience counting, or like it was like 1 or 2. So
yeah, and I know it's hard getting.
It's hard getting. And the thing about it is that even for the academy, those are the best ones I could get, like, right? And even then, even in some places, they're probably still higher ranked than some other places I've been to count, right? So they have a lot of experience. So I think it's harder to do as far as counters are concerned, marshals, things like that. I did, we got.
It's definitely hard. I will not dispute that.
Yeah, but we'll come to that, and I think that's like a consistent thing for a lot of tournaments. But I think that's something that we'll
absolutely
continue to work on, evolve. I think for just the women's league in general, what's like a wish list for you? Like, what's like a wish? Like this is something you want to do or would like to see change or like to evolve.
I mean, something I like to evolve, definitely getting larger group fights going, like getting to do the 21s or, even 10s, whatever, having, and then just having enough women for us to have more than like 2 teams in the country,
Yeah. Buhurt Link points. You want to get those Buhurt Link points. They don't count unless you have 3 women.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, and Carthage, we get like 3 teams, and like one of them is usually kind of like a merc team a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. I would like to see, if it's even possible, if there's a central location to do a 100% women's tournament. I'm talking about melees, duels, and it's just the women from all over the country, and they're just fighting it out. They're in 5s, they're in 10s, they're in duels, pro fights, whatever. And it's just them, and see what happens.
That would be fun.
I don't know how many. If I had to ballpark it, and this is just from my knowledge, and maybe you may not agree. I think if I from the amount of women I know that have armor and have some experience or have actually combat, I would say it's probably like 40, 45, maybe.
You're just gonna need to do a lot of math here.
If I take the mythics, that's about 10.
And
you're right. You take the Nashville, that's about, even if you give them, even with their loner armor, 7 or 8. So let's ballpark it at like 18. There's a couple random from the Midwest. That's 20. You take a couple handful from the West Coast.
I'd say there's 4 in California. Like it could maybe be a little higher, but I'd say at least 4.
4 or 5. You've got a couple randoms in the Midwest. Even if you threw in some duelists and things like that, you got Shoshana and Allie and some of those other people. They got a couple. Then you take East Coast. You could probably stay in another.
About 5 down here.
Yeah, 5. So close to 40, 45. I think that's still, and that's still a solid tournament. Even if you did 8s and then some people did solos, I'd just be like, where's a place in the U.S. that's like fair to everyone? They can all go, and there's only like a couple of cities I could say. They're all in the Midwest. Yeah. You could put them all in. You can put them all in Dallas. You can put them all in Kansas City or Chicago. Like that makes it like jointly fair. Like those are 3 places they can probably go. I don't know what it would take to do that. I have no idea.
Well, it sounds like you need to find out.
Yeah, I think that's one of my tasks, one of my things I'll figure out. I get sent with a lot of responsibilities and side responsibilities and side questions I get added to. I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna ask people, and maybe I'll be in charge of it, or maybe I won't. I don't know. Racine, okay, Dragoncon. Let's get back to the Dragoncon thing.
Uh-huh.
Now, I looked at some of the fights in the melees and things like that. So, yeah. Celeste said that there's about 40 plus registered women fighters. Helping with travel costs and things like that would be amazing. Absolutely. And I do want to talk about that in a future episode, talking about travel costs. And I've had some like small success and some big success with my own stuff and some of the things I've helped with with Warlord Combat Academy and with the Knights of Kana to do things and that can help with travel. I know Desha's kind of touched on this some certain times too. And even Larry's even talked about fundraising and things like that. So at some point, I'm going to do a show about that, about fundraising and things like that in the future. And one of the things, Christine, I want to talk to you about is about Dragoncon. Is that what's the best? Okay, pro fights. Let's talk about the card. Is there a pro fight that you saw on the card that you're like, yeah, I want to see that fight? Outside of your own.
What's it? Oh gosh. Oh, is it Shan and Kelsey? Abby?
Yeah, Kelsey Lita? Kelsey.
Yeah, it is Shan versus one of the Nashville girls. I'm trying to remember. What?
Plug the webpage.
What the palmettonights.com/Dragoncon. Dragon's Cup has the schedule.
Yep, has a schedule. And I'm looking at it right now. Well, I was looking at it. I had it up. Yes, so we have Shan versus Kelsey Lita. Yeah, that's who's on that part.
I'm excited to see that one for sure.
Yeah. And I am excited to see that one. And then I am excited to see your fight as well as Elise's fight.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I also see the main event, which is Brett Skinner versus
our boy Clay.
Your boy Clay Thomas.
I'm excited about that one too.
I'm excited. Now I'm not saying that I hope that Clay has been excited to take this and training and doing the due diligence to putting in the work. I have no idea.
He just tested for his orange belt at judo today and got it. So
okay. Well,
he's getting up there.
Hey, then that takes it to a different level. Because if I had said what it was previously, I'm like, well, no. But if you say that that's what the case, that's going to be a good fight to watch. I was interested to see who fights Brett, who steps up to play to do it.
And Clay's it probably trains the hardest out of most of the guys on the team.
Yeah. I challenged him last year to a fight, and then he kind of got busy or whatever. So I'm like, all right, fine. You're busy. Like, even though you said you fight me, but then you got busy. You're fine. Okay, I get it. But now you skipped over me to fight Brett. That's fine. I'm not hurt at all. I'm not
Larry totally forced him into it. So,
which is fine. I think, but I know Brett's been clamoring. He hasn't had a fight in a while, so he's been clamoring for somebody to fight him. So I'm glad. Yeah. I am interested to see. There's a couple other fights in here. I'm interested to see who ends up fighting Greg Fisher and who ends up fighting. There's another one that was on here. I wanted to see how Bo versus Jocelyn Wright, because I don't know that much about Jocelyn, but I know Bo hasn't had a pro fight yet and has been really training and trying to take it seriously. So I am excited to see her.
So Jocelyn's one of our newer fighters on Palmetto Nights, one of our picks. She just got her work on Friday, so this is really her first fight.
Yeah, and Bo's done some melees, but they haven't had any pro fights just yet, and so it's kind of like the last couple weeks, last months, ever since this became a thing. Really want to go there. If you had a prediction on that fight, on Bo's fight versus Jocelyn fight, what do you think? Who do you take it?
I haven't seen Bo fight very much, but just the fact that she has more experience and has actually fought in armor before, I'd probably go with Bo.
Okay. Just
because your first fight in armor.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and then having your pro fight as your first one, I know I couldn't do it.
Yeah, then we have Steph Kite versus AJ? Asia?
Yeah, versus Asia.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
That's gonna be an interesting one. And I'll say like that. All the other fights I think will be interesting too. If Dragoncon goes anything like it did before, if you haven't been to Dragoncon is super exciting and a super great tournament, but it's also what a 2-day tournament usually is, but it's condensed into to 2 to 8 hours. So it's a lot. So you'll see a lot of people who are rested and a lot of people who are not, who are exhausted because you sign up for everything. You're like, oh yeah, I'll do some duels, I'll do some pro fights, and I'll do some melees too. And you'd be like, yeah, you didn't realize that's all within like a 6 to 8 hour period, right?
Yeah.
Not 2 days.
I think probably like 5 hours.
Yeah, like more like 5 hours. I did the duels tournament last year, and I was like, and by accident, I actually had like an extra match, but I didn't even. I was like, oh, okay, I'm getting in because it's just like it's constantly you're going in and out, and then I was like, I finished the match, like, oh yeah, your championship match for duels. I'm like, oh, I literally just finished the match. I was like, okay, give me like 90 seconds. Give me like 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. Let me just. Okay. All right. Let's get in there. All right. Let me get in.
And Dragoncon is fast paced too. You better be ready to go.
Yeah, I was like, as soon as I knew I was doing it, I was like, yep. Okay. Cardio. Because but beyond anything else, it is. And if you're going to do multiple categories, if you're not just going to be there just for melees, or if you're just there just for a pro fight, you're just training for that pro fight, whatever. But if you're going in there, you're going to do multiple things. Cardio is what you're going to be needing consistently.
Even for the melees and the pro fights, you need to be training cardio.
Yeah, well, yes.
I mean, especially for pro fights.
Yeah, just your pro fights. Pro fights are grueling and miserable, even if they're only for 6 minutes. Even for only 6 minutes. I'm going to be completely neutral for Dragoncon, Christine. What teams do you think are going to take it for the women's melees, and who do you think is going to take it for the men's? Just you can be completely neutral. You don't have to say Knights of Wakanda. Say whoever you like.
I mean, for the women's melees, I definitely think Mythics are going to take it. Some of the other teams are coming up, but they're not quite at that level yet.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even know who's fighting on the men's.
Okay, I'll give you right now. So you got.
I know we got World Eaters.
Yep, we got World Eaters. You got PK, the Peacocks.
Yep.
You got the Atlanta Harvesters.
Oh, yeah, Harvesters.
And you have the Peasant Uprising.
The Peasant Uprising is back?
The Mercs.
Okay.
They're all Merc.
If you're a Merc team at my events, you're going to be called Peasant Uprising.
Okay.
Peasant Uprising. PK, so PK proper, so PK Peacocks.
Yep.
And then you have the Peasant Uprising, Harvesters. You got Knights of Wakanda. Then you have the World Eaters. And I think that's everybody. Yeah, that's 5 teams.
That's kind of hard. I feel like I don't know some of these teams well enough to have an opinion.
So kind of give them context. Well, you know Peacocks, right?
Yep. I know my boys.
The World Eaters, I think, if I remember correctly, at Carnage finished 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, they're an upcoming team for sure.
For 3rd or 4th. Harvesters are a brand new team. And then of course the Uprising, that's kind of a big Merc team, so there's never knowing what happens with that team. You never know what that. But and then of course Knights of Wakanda. Then that's the Knights of Wakanda. So I think if I'm being 100% neutral about it, and then even for my own team, I think between the Peacocks, Knights of Wakanda, and
World
Eaters, you're going to see one of those 3 is going to win.
For sure.
Eaters, they get a lot of, they're training on Nashville, so they're doing a lot of kit time. They're doing a lot of stuff. They're focusing on a lot of things. I wouldn't be surprised, and even based on their performance last year, I wouldn't be surprised if they were to beat everyone. Just because
I'm slightly leaning towards World Eaters taking it.
But then I don't want to say take away Peacocks, but then again, I don't know. You got PK has a lot of people, so I don't know. I didn't really look at the whole roster for PK to see who's on it. But if you have your the typical 8 or even the top 10 people that are usually on it, it's still a pretty good solid squad.
Yeah.
So it really depends. And then for Knights of Wakanda, we won last year. We have an extra person this year, so
you're not fighting short this time.
Yeah, we're fighting short this time because we lost person just yesterday. So we're gonna have 8, so we only have 7. But even with 7, and we have some more experienced people this year, I think still pretty good, still comparable to the team last year, more than comparable to the team last year.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be pretty good. I think it's gonna be very entertaining.
It's hard to say which of those 3 teams.
Yeah. So solid team. I'm excited. I'm excited. Like I like the challenge of with Warlords. I know, and I think it's for me. Some people don't like the challenge of fighting with random teams, but I actually do because you have to adapt to each other, one, and communicate with each other, and then you have to try to win. And on top of that, what we did last year, what we're going to do this year, a day or two before, we're going to go over some things. We're going to walk through a game plan. We're going to walk through some things and test myself as a leader because I'm being captain this year again. And then how good am I a leader? And then how good are we going to be on the field to communicate with each other, stay fresh, and then try to win.
The communication's super important.
Right.
That I think makes or breaks a team.
And every after every match before we started, and even after every match, we were talking. Okay, like, this is what we're doing. Here's the plan. And I think that's a good challenge. And that's still the same thing. And that's still the same philosophy that I took from even the Warlords, right? So even that's something we still take. We talk every match. We're like, okay, here's what we do. Here's what we're good. And this is bad. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna change up this lineup. This is who's going in. So even then, that's still something I've taken from out of the Warlords and taken in there, and I think it's gonna be a great tournament. And if we apply those circumstances, and hopefully those other teams do the same thing, but still find the time to enjoy the con.
Yeah, for sure.
How many years have you gone to Dragoncon?
Well, so I used to live right outside of Atlanta, so I was going to Dragoncon for years before this. I was in college when I started going. So I was half a lifetime ago.
Okay. So how many have you participated in? How many Dragons Cups have you the Dragon Cup have you participated in?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 7 years.
Yeah,
because my very first fight ever was 2 months after I started at Dragoncon.
Okay. Is there a favorite? Do you have a favorite memory or a favorite match you're like, I'm gonna remember this one forever? Be like, okay, so 2 questions. One that you were in, and then one that you weren't in. Gosh, a match or moment or something, favorite moment or match.
Okay, let me think, please. Thank you. Yeah, Larry was just pointing out my very first match was pretty special. So I actually fought Larry my very first match.
What?
And surprise beat him, and he was mad about it.
So surprise people for some people who don't know, and I think this is a lot of things that people don't know is that yes, Larry at one point in time did compete in armor combat. So a lot of people were like, "Oh, really?" I didn't even know until some people showed me some footage. I was like, "Oh, okay, sweet, all right."
Yeah, he was pretty decent too.
Yeah. So your first match, so your first memory with yourself is it was you competed. What's something that you remember that happened that you weren't in? Memory.
I mean, gosh, there's been so many good fights. Okay, I think I have to pick Elise fighting Genevieve, and that final round when they were like, it's a tie, you got to fight another 30 minutes. That was just, that was insane.
Yeah, that was a great con. I think that was my first one. I had so many moments from that one. I agree. I think that was a good one. I had a little after it was over. I had a little drop down tear. At least one. My team won. At least one. All right. We win. It's crazy.
And Genevieve's an amazing fighter too. She and Pro Fights is her chosen category. So
I'm hoping I get to see Genevieve again. I think I don't know. She's not coming.
They were gonna come this year, her and her boyfriend Josh, but they couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So,
but I got a chance to train with them last year at Balls 1.0. Yeah. Yeah, so I got to try to trade with them with balls 1.0, and then hopefully maybe I'll get to go to 3.0 or something like that. I'll get to go to that, and I'll see them in that one. Or maybe we'll fight the Skelegrims and someday. We'll see like that.
You're a great team.
They're coming to Carnage.
Oh, Larry says they're coming to Carnage.
Oh, well, all right. Well, Carnage is going to be another test. Another test of strength for Carnage. Carnage is always a good time. Carnage is always a good time for teams they're watching this, haven't gone to Carnage. I absolutely tell you should go to that. I think there's if I had to point out, there are typically like four, in my mind, there's like 3 or 4 staple tournaments every year you should go to. Carnage is definitely one of them. ACS Nationals is one of them. And then you can kind of say that there's a couple, 1 or 2 other out there that could be alternatives, but definitely Carnage and then ACS Nationals, Dragoncon are typically like the 3. You should at least hit one of those 3 every year, if not once, those 3, and then you kind of ballpark it. Christina, I asked this. I usually have a segment called Celebrity Armored Combat, and I usually pick 2 celebrities that I usually go towards. I don't have the graphic ready today because I was kind of running late and I didn't get to do it. So unfortunately, I won't be able to do that today. But we're also going to do the segment of choose your beer. So if you could create a beer or cider and with any ingredient in the world, what ingredients would you put in it? What would you name it? And then what would be the alcohol level in that?
That's some very specific questions.
What would it taste like? What ingredients would you like? Whatever yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna have to put raspberry in it since apparently I'm really into that on my ciders.
Yeah.
Probably some honey.
Raspberry honey, okay.
Yeah, because I like me some mead. What would I name it? I'm one of those people, I have to sit there and think about names for a really long time. Don't ask me to name a D&D character. It'll take me a hot minute.
I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you with a name. Christine's Raspberry Wonder Juice.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Raspberries Wonder Juice. What would your alcoholic level be? It's like ABVs. Would it be like just a basic, which is basics like 3.5 to like 5.5%. Higher levels like anywhere from 5.5 to like 10, or you go like really true alcoholic level for beers, which is like anywhere from 10 to 15%.
5% sounds pretty good.
5% is actually smooth, 5%. All right, cool. Christine, we're coming up to an hour. Usually I try to keep it to an hour. But usually before I wrap it up with the last sip, I let everybody kind of talk about whatever they want to talk about. Do you want to talk about anything or give like your last statement of whatever you'd like to talk about? You get a tap. This is hot mic. Everyone in Armor Combat is listening. There's been 8 people who've been in and out of the stream, and then of course after this, you usually get like another 400 or 500 plays. So you can.
Oh my god, that's a lot.
Well, we post this on the Armor Combat page specifically, so
yeah, totally. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. You put me on the spot.
Christine is lend us your ear. Is there how about this? Is there a word of advice that you would give for new women to the sport?
There's a whole bunch of things I could say.
You can bring it all on. You don't have to do one specific thing.
Yeah, I mean, training. I mean, the best thing about this sport. I mean, like the best thing about the sport is all the friendships you make and all the camaraderie, and I think that's really important.
I agree. Words of wisdom spoken. So everyone, I'd like you guys. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Beer Bar Thoughts. the good news, bad news situation. So the good news is that we have Christine on, who's an OG of the sport. We talked about ciders and Dragons Cup. Dragoncon is next week, people. You guys need to watch that. Go to that. You got to support that. If you didn't go this year, you need to absolutely go next year. Save your money because it's a bucket list item for every armor combat fighter in the Indian Nation. It's a bucket list item. You should go at least once. And go to that and make plans. So after Dragoncon this year, if you're not go this year, you buy your ticket. It's super cheap if you buy it super early. It's like $80. And like put it in like a little stash like I did, and then you save your money and you go. And you drive or fly, you ride a bike. I don't care. You go drive carpool with whoever you go. It's a bucket list. It's a staple. You should guys go enjoy the fights, enjoy the atmosphere of drunk conventions. Beer Better Thoughts will not be having an episode next Saturday or Sunday. I'm saying that, but that's because I might try to live stream interviews post fights. Depends on how tired I am, but then also I'm gonna be at the con, so I may not. I'll be like, I might bring the equipment and like not do that at all. So we'll see. But then also the following week I won't have an episode either, so there won't be an episode for like next week. So I'll be on vacation. I'm tired. I've been doing a lot of stuff for the Warlords, Knights of Wakanda. I'm tired. I need a vacation before the fall gets super crazy, and I have no life because the next tournament is Axe Snacks ACS Nationals. If you haven't gone, have you registered for that? Register for that. If you haven't yet, it's going to be in Reno. It's going to be great. There's going to be so many teams there. That's like another bucket list tournament you should definitely go to. I have fun every year. You get plenty of fights. There's never a shortage of teams to fight, or regardless if you're a duelist, you're a pro fighter, or whatever. There's going to be 6 categories now. So there's 6 duels in the singles categories plus some pro fights. Then melees are going to be super crazy. So I'm easily probably going to be like 10 to 12 teams at that. So definitely do that. I don't know. Comment below who wants to be my next guest. I haven't really decided. Christine was kind of my last person that I had like in my mind that popped up. So I'll decide after that, after my next 2 weeks of vacation, who can be my next guest if I don't do another episode. You know what? I probably will do Michael Johnson because he's always in my comments asking me, when we gonna do it? But he doesn't even drink beer, or drink at all because he doesn't know anything about alcohol. But anyway, Beer Better Thoughts, guys. Every week we relax, we have a drink, we talk about armor combat, we talk about some things for everybody's personal lives. But before we get out of here, you guys know what it is. You guys know what the time is. We've gone to the last sip of our alcoholic beverages, and we're going to talk about the beer prayer. Christine, are you ready for the beer prayer?
Sure.
Now lead us in this holiest of drinks to close out the show. Our lager. Which out in barrels, hallowed be thy drink. I will be drunk, thy will be drunk. As at home as it's in the taverns. Give us this day our foamy head, and forgive us against our spillages, as we forgive those who spill against us. And lead us not into incarceration, but deliver us from hangovers. For thine is the bitter, the lager, forever and ever. Barman. Salud. Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. BeerBarThoughts.com. We're out of here. Bye.
Bye.